Alrighty, well, welcome back to another episode of the 12. It's been a little while, but we are finally back here with our campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story streams live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, you can check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description. Because a lot has happened and we're kind of getting off to a restart. So we're going to do a little bit of a longer recap today before we get into things.
Well, we're back, folks, and our misadventurous crew has been through quite the ringer. From a flying abduction by a tentacled airship-creature to them being stranded on a strange island, our group banded together to hitch a ride with a ship that turned out to be pirates and found themselves breaking a prisoner out of the fortress of Dreadhold. The escapades of piracy devolved from fighting sea beasts to intricate politics and infernal contracts, then on to travels to other planes of existence. It was only after jumping into the jaws of the dragon that they finally made it to the continent proper. Last time we had seen our party, Jasira and Clyde had been doing some shopping and acquiring multiple items from the magical mystery coin machine until they heard a message that Roland had turned into a werewolf and was missing somewhere in the city. A chase of epic proportions was underwent, but alas our group was unsuccessful in locating their lycanthropic companion until they tried ascending and heard a ragged response, leading them to deep into the woods in a strange alien-like body that somehow returned back to the shape of Roland when he was awoken with the pain of silver-lined manacles. Roland was a bit confused, but accepted his restraints as everyone headed off to sleep. Ensuring that everyone was indeed asleep, he reached into his bag and pulled forth a dark, magical orb. Now the past 2 months have been a journey across the coast, through the dwarven mountainous nation of the Dreadholds and along the lightning rail through the forests and fields of Karnath. We now find ourselves in Karlakten, known by many names such as the City of Splendors, the Crown of the North, and simply the Metropolis. It stands as the jewel of Karnath, renowned for its influence and importance. It is a city that is driven by the promise of the future. Rising from the ashes of the last war, Karlakten was among the first cities to open its arms to refugees and travelers, cultivating an even more diverse and vibrant populace. One of Karlakten's most remarkable features is its architectural landscape. With the city growing so quickly, expansion has gone upwards rather than outwards, leading to a skyline dominated by these towering structures. Some are masterpieces of design, elegant and beautiful, while others are chaotic amalgamations that seem to defy gravity and could topple at any moment. The city's most distinguished claim to fame, however, is its artifice. Karlakten is at the forefront of a magical industrial revolution where the fusion of sorcery and mechanics has transformed daily life. Artificers and inventors work tirelessly in their workshops, creating ingenious devices that ease the burdens of daily existence, from magically powered street lamps to self-cleaning homes and public transportation systems that blend arcane and mechanical technology. Karlakten is a place where the wonders of tomorrow are a reality today. It is a city of splendors, the city that never sleeps, where the beauty of its varied, vibrant culture and the marvels of its technological advancements provide the hope of what Karnath aspires to be, a land of progress, inclusivity, and endless possibility. Now, within this city of splendors, on the less than magnificent Troll Skull Alley within the north ward of the city, we find a small curiosities and pawn shop with a hastily painted sign titled The Seventh Eye. Boko is in the back room behind a curtain working on his latest enhancement to an invention he has coined the Soul Canister, while Jasira leans up against a counter and Clyde sits perched upon a stool, awaiting customers that rarely seem to show. The Schultz is meticulously walking back and forth across the center of the store, awaiting a response that has yet to come back in, and on the porch outside, Roland sits, leaned back in a chair with his feet up, book in hand and his rifle across his lap, eyes keeping vigilance over the street.
So as we come into our scene here, you all are within the magnificent city of Karlakten, this city of splendors. However, your location within the City of Splendors is slightly less than splendor-inducing. The store is a back alley warehouse, and you have started to populate it with a few things here and there, but it has only just now gotten off the ground, and there are really no one who has come and visited as of yet. you all had gone your separate ways, doing a bit of business in different areas of the city over the past week or so as you've been in town. Arriving on the 21st of Baracus, or late summer. It is now the end of late summer on the 28th, and it is early in the morning. What are you all doing?
Roland, do you want to go to the Tower of Artifice with me?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh well. Oh gosh, I assume
We're
Tower
on
of
live
Artifice
campaign, guys.
is close. Yeah, hold on.
Only took us 50 sessions to get back.
Well,
Look, man, I just want to go home.
Yes, but to the Tower of Artifice, see what they've made of the wreckages there, and if the library is still intact. If I can find my rope.
And my gear.
Are we all going? Or is it just you two?
You're definitely welcome to come with.
Yeah.
I think Clyde would go mostly because the store is dead, but he would insist that we stop off on this little cafe that he's been going to every few days.
Well, I assume I probably got some time before
lunch
this
after.
letter comes in. So,
Also,
Jasira, you coming?
I hadn't thought about that. I probably should have brought this up, but it wasn't until I looked at my inventory that I remembered. When we got to Carlacton, Clyde would have tried to find Garrett's family
Oh,
to give them back his journal and his spell book.
oh,
I've had it this entire time.
yeah.
tell them
So,
how brave Gar was at the end.
oh my gosh.
I would not.
Rhett, on the other hand,
But it could take time to find it. I should have brought this up prior. But I was just saying, like, yeah, while in town, we might put some feelers out to try and find his family.
I'm pretty sure Roland has contacts that can help you find anyone.
hopefully.
And should you want to use Roland's contacts, you certainly could. But there are.
Oh, Clyde will use all of Roland.
Indeed, yeah. Spicy.
Oh,
Boko, hold my shirt.
Oh, God.
That's why we don't get anyone at the shop.
you will not get it back, by the way.
But yeah, there are many public avenues, but Carlacton is a huge city,
Massive place,
the largest city on the continent, and so it will definitely take time. And so we could say that you would kind of started along those channels, but as of yet haven't heard anything back. And this aesthetic is more of where your current shop of the Seventh Eye lies,
perfect.
on Troll Skull Alley.
Perfect.
Bro, when
I'm
you
getting-
told
I'm
us
getting
you had a hole in the
strong.
wall, I didn't think it was literal.
It is a steaming pile of shit, but it's home.
Hey, we got that out the third day.
Also, did you say we were stopping by a cafe?
We'll do that after we go to the Artifice. It's this great place I've been stopping in town. They got these pseudo dragons that do more dessert for you. It's delicious.
ooh. Yum.
I'm
That's how that word is
terrified.
pronounced.
What?
Is that how that word is pronounced?
Screw you.
I don't know.
I've only ever read it. I thought it was pronounced Pseudo Dragon.
Sweeto?
Oh,
This feels like a deep cut.
It's a super deep cut that I'm never gonna live down.
shots fired.
It's not like I
One day.
mispronounce things every other session, but that one is gonna stick with me.
Yup, it's funny how that happens.
Hey man, you get
had a-
dragons, I get the 20-foot staircase, okay? Is that fair enough?
Yes.
I had a briefly on another character. I had a pseudo dragon familiar who I named Seamus Wade O'Dragon. So S Wade O'Dragon.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, we can go by CC and C and go and CCC and see ya.
At you.
That was a mouthful.
For real.
I don't think Boko's ever had coffee before, and I am frankly terrified of the...
Okay, how arachnid is Boko?
How arachnid?
Yes.
Weird
Yes.
question.
Caffeine's like alcohol. It'll get him fucked up.
You would be the person to know this.
The caffeine-fueled artifice that happens in the back of the seventh eye.
Look, man,
But yeah,
caffeine is literally the power behind artifice.
Jasira, are you coming with us to the cafe and the Tower of Artifice?
I cannot hear her if she's talking.
Bree?
Oh, you're talking to me? Sorry.
Yes.
The issue with the new puppy is I'm constantly like, what the fuck are you doing? Because Sam had to go to the bathroom, so I'm like the person watching her for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Silence
Yes,
is
we are
golden,
going.
Unless you have a puppy, in which case silence is strangely suspicious.
Exactly. And she literally chose to piss despite having a walk like 2 seconds ago. So
Oof.
Nice.
anyway.
Rip.
So anyway, yes.
We'll
we're
all
going.
head out, and Roland will hang a sign on the door as we leave that says, "Be back in 10 minutes. If not back, refer to above."
So you guys are heading out in search of the Artificer's Tower?
Yes.
Yes, the Temple of Anatar, essentially.
So as you guys begin to head along the weaving streets here, navigating left and right between these various buildings that are stretching up, and most of the skyline is almost impossible to see. You get the bit of sky directly overhead, and that's about it. And moving through towards this main road that bisects vertically the city, known as the High Road, you kind of head towards the west, towards the seaward, where this tower is constructed. However, as you get closer and closer to the seaward, you see some sort of barrier obstructing the streets here. You get closer and you see that there are actually guards posted. And for those of you who lived in this city, Roland especially, this is something that was not here before, but there are large semi-magical barriers that have been put up across the street here.
Oh, I completely forgot to mention Seaward's off limits.
So since you seem to know so much about this, why?
That is actually a good question. Do I recognize the affiliation of the guards by chance, Austin?
They just seem to be part of the town watch, I think is the correct one, if I get it.
Okay, so they're not like bound to the academy or anything. It's just the standard
No.
guard.
Yeah, it's just the guards of the city.
It's just the stand. So it's not really off limits if you got a little.
Look, man, you can't ask me to not follow the rule. Okay, wait, hold on. We've actually been to a lot of these. Okay, hold on. I would just consider, Roland, it is a bit strange that the guards are currently blocking this area off, but my assumption is it might be under renovation, I guess?
Well, what a good thing that we're such great renovators.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty good at it. Hey, wait a second, you're not assuming we're gonna go in there, are you?
That is where my church is.
I have a question, DM.
I mean, Clyde, after you do your thing, is going to go and talk to the guards.
Boko will go with.
Roland is kind of like ducks behind a corner, wipes away the scar on his face, and then pulls out the amulet of Anatar on his chest and to display it prominently, and starts walking that way.
Yeah, I'll go with them too.
All right. So all of you begin to make your way towards where these guards are set up near this border or magical and metallic wall that has been affixed across the center of this main street here. Kind of making your way right up towards where the guards stand. They kind of look at you strangely as you just kind of continue walking closer and closer. It seems that they're almost surprised to see your purpose, and then they kind of step forward. I'm sorry, there's no passage through this way. Please, you'll have to navigate around.
Why is that? What's going on here?
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of new in here. We're working our way up from the bottom, so to speak, here.
He's new. I'm not. I'm a priest of Anatar. My church is that way. If I can't pass on this street, how do I get there?
Well, the House of Inspired Hands is part of the quarantine zone here. The area has been locked off for a few weeks, and travel to there is only permitted by certain clerics of the Broken God. They're trying to work through potential cures. Now, there are plenty of other temples within the city. There's a few that have open hours for any religion. If you're one for the Sovereign Host, there's multiple temples scattered across where you can go and do your worship. Or should you like, down on the south end of the city, it's a bit of a walk from here, but they have an open temple for all religions.
Yes, the plinth.
But I'm sorry, you can't pass through this way.
Boko is gonna ask a question. He'll say, I am a doctor of kinds. This infection, this quarantine you speak of, is there a place that I can lend my assistance?
Well,
somebody we can talk to?
Boko, why don't you go ahead and roll me a persuasion check at advantage?
Also, in case it matters, Boko's deep into the artisanry, and one of the early feats is called Renown, which gives me like a connection to a faction or like a guild. The only guild I had known at that time was the Church of Inspired Hands. I don't know if that plays a role here at all, but I can link the skill for you if it matters.
Let's play a Roland.
Groan. And let's see here. Persuasion. Okay. Hold on.
That's why he doesn't let me roll them.
Hold on. Boko is going to lean into it and begin pulling out some of his tools, and he's going to use Flash of Genius to add 4 to that.
Okay.
And just start pulling out like scalpels and stuff like that, and just make it known that he's actually could appear to be like a doctor.
So that adds +5, you said?
+4.
+4.
Oh, shame. If it were +5, you would have succeeded.
I haven't gotten my ASI to get 20 intelligence yet, so give it time.
The guard kind of looks at you for a second, and certainly seems a bit reluctant. And then kind of releases a bit and kind of relaxes. Well, if you're really interested in helping, like I said, there's some of the clerics, they're doctors essentially. They've been working on trying to come up with a cure and to keep this from getting across the city. They've set up some bases inside, but their actual hospital / temple, I guess. It's on the other side of the city. I think it's in the North Ward. You might be able to inquire there, to be honest. I'm not too sure, but that would be my best guidance.
The North
Well,
Ward,
thank you very
temple in the
much.
North Ward.
There's a lot to be found in the North Ward.
There's a lot to be found everywhere. No, but I'm trying to...
Where is it in relation to the Grand Library?
The Grand Library is a little bit south central on the ward. This temple, it's the Hospice of St. Lopson, and it's pretty much straight south, maybe a little bit southeast of the Grand Library.
Ah, okay. I know the area. Thank you.
It probably doesn't look much like a temple. Usually it's kind of avoided by people as it's kind of treated as a hospital, but specifically for those who have been afflicted with different types of plagues or diseases. So there's bound to be a wide berth around it.
One more question, if you will. This quarantine zone, where is the epicenter? Where did this disease begin?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't have that type of information, but the clerics at the hospice will likely might be able to help you with that.
Thank you. Roland, we have to go.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for the information. If either of you find your way in the area where our shop is, as I don't know, the player doesn't.
Troll Skull Alley.
Go to the shittiest part of town.
We got
just
to
looking
Troll
for
Skull
an
Alley.
even shittier part.
Troll Skull Alley is far from the shittiest part of town.
we got a little shop in Troll Skull Alley. Come there, we'll give you a discount for first time shopping.
Yeah, exactly. Hold up, man. That ain't the worst.
What do you sell there?
Little this, little
What
that.
do you want us to sell you?
I think I still got some dwarven weapons left over.
What do you all do? You're store owners?
Right now,
We're
I
pretty.
mean, my parents are store
he
owners.
is.
So you've got a chain. Your parents own a store, and now you all own a store. Is it the same? Is it the same
we're
chain?
brothers, and Clyde's gonna.
They're getting more and more confused and dissociated with everything that you continue to say.
Okay. Businessman, tinkerer, salesman, contacts, muscle, and he points to Jasira.
That's fair.
She's just gonna smile shyly and just kind of wave.
Every shop needs a bouncer.
That's fair enough.
Thank you for the directions. We'll be on our way.
All right. And you guys head away from the Sea Ward. And are you trying to go directly to this hospice?
Let's go to the cafe first.
Sure, before we get horribly diseased since we lost our druid with lesser restoration.
On the way out, I would probably lean over to Roland. Oh, go ahead.
I might need a couple more levels of cleric, guys.
Oh,
I'm glad I went more healing this level up.
But Tajal would lean over to Roland and just mention, I actually have a reason to go to this place of yours too. I guess I didn't realize that they're one and the same, but the House of Inspired Hands is something that I'm very interested to hear some of the innovations from.
Oh, well, I can talk to you all day about them. I used to work there.
Oh, well.
Where, when the tentacle monster came through, that is where it grabbed me.
Oh, right. That whole day
don't
was
allow rope in the library.
That whole day was a bit chaotic, I suppose. Well, then here's a question for you. I forgot how good you are with this stuff. I'm trying to work on modularizing this armor, as I've just got pretty much. Well, God, I guess I would have to have it more or less deployed. It's not like I can do it right now, but
We can incorporate organics to potentially make it grow and retract.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Open offer
But-
without expiration.
But basically, just kind of showing him like the different kind of modifications I've made to it. The right fist now is much bigger and heavier plated. The left hand seems to be more almost thinned down, but made to optimize the blade attack. And the whole suit itself seems to have more metal to it. I'm trying to see if I can't collapse this down and be able to deploy it, but it's I'm really getting stuck on it. Mostly in the deployment phase, so everybody's kind of pointed me towards Onatar.
Well, let's figure out what this plague is that's been going around, and then I know some people.
Makes sense to me.
Well, I mean, I doubt it's just a coincidence that it's where you lot got picked up from that this is going on.
Have we made it to the cafe by chance?
This is on the way to the cafe, so if you don't have anything else, then yeah, sure.
I think I'm going to wait until they're drinking their coffee to tell them.
I'm so worried.
Oh, cool. We can spit take. Awesome.
Yeah.
Precisely for that exact
Everyone,
reason.
okay, when we're drinking coffee, everyone face Boko.
So Clyde leads you through and it's actually to the south side, down towards kind of where the south or where the sea ward would start, and where it meets the castle ward. You see these large kind of towering walls along the sea, and it's your first kind of view past all of the towering landscape where there are
That's the wrong direction.
much larger buildings, some massive temples. You see the immense towers of this place called the Halls of Justice, and you step over to a conglomeration of buildings, and into this small tube-like room, and Clyde just steps in and beckons you all in, and suddenly you're lurched upwards as you're lifted up into the air, as this tube elevates and levitates up to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And as you stand, take a step out, you see small little gardens that are self-tended, these plants that are kind of dropping leaves off themselves, and small mechanical contraptions that dip down watering over them, as this beautiful little cafe comes into view. It's still kind of mid-afternoon or mid-morning, excuse me, and so most of the breakfast goers have gone, and only a few people are here for an early lunch, but the place is elegant and gorgeous with these multicolored glass panes that shine through into the cafe, these small little tables, and what you notice immediately is that waiters move around with various small creatures perched upon their arms or shoulders, and all of these dishes are constantly being placed by these small multi-armed monkey creatures. You see these small dragon-like creatures that are breathing flame and broiling this pudding or custard-like dessert in front of them and placing them down in front of customers. It is an interactive experience, but it is kind of settled down from whatever the morning rush was.
Are we sure we can afford this place?
Don't worry. I'll spot you this time. I'm a regular.
I have questions.
That's literally the best of us.
And as you come up, a waiter does kind of step up and, Mr. Clyde, would you like your typical table in the corner?
That'd be wonderful. Me and my companions here are just coming in to enjoy a coffee and a treat.
And as they escort you back over to this corner area where there's kind of a curve of the glass that creates a secluded corner, there is a table that just has 2 chairs set up there, but they quickly move over an additional table with some chairs to support the rest of you as the 5 of you
2 chairs, you say?
sit down at this table here.
Does this table perhaps overlook a brothel or something? Why is this your table?
Honestly, through any of these windows, you can't really see out of them. There's light coming in, and it's kind of reflected through. If you'd like to make an investigation check, you can, Boko.
Search brothel.
Sure.
Or perception check, I suppose.
Control F brothel. Oh, I clicked the button. Oops.
Ooh.
So Boko, you're right next to these windows and looking at them and trying to look through them. This does not go out to the street. This is some kind of enchantment behind this stained glass that is making artificial light. Even though you rose up a few levels, you know there's still probably a dense, packed, multiple levels of buildings behind this one, and this is to kind of give it this elegant, beautiful look inside this small cafe. But this window doesn't actually look out onto anything. It's essentially opaque.
Mm-hmm.
And highly enchanted with multiple things, as well as well crafted.
As everybody sort of gets their coffee and we have a moment secluded to ourselves, Boko is going to say, so there is a very remote, distant possibility that the quarantine of Carlacton is my fault. Luckily, I'm wearing the unsoilable friendship sweater of prestidigitation that Jasira knitted me.
That's your choice, your chosen cantrip for it.
And Boko essentially will continue. He'll say, Roland, do you remember the first time we had met within this temple?
Yes, you were being dragged out by the guards.
Because they had found something that had alarmed them very much. Something I brought to them, hoping they could assist me in understanding it. A gear that was taken from one of my arms.
So the strange part you left out.
Yeah, the strange thing about this foray into the conjoinment of organics and mechanics is I was unfortunate enough to discover a disease, if you will. Something that mixes, spreads sort of like rust, sort of like cancer. And it is something that has been very difficult to eradicate, if you will.
So, are you afflicted with this? I would assume so.
If we go talk to these people, are they just gonna lock you up?
I hope not.
So if, excuse me, but if you are afflicted with this and this has caused an entire ward of the city to be walled off in quarantine, and we've been traveling with you for months, is it contagious?
I do not know. It is like plants, like a crop that develops a disease. It seems to spread. But generally speaking, after understanding these plants for some time, you can eradicate this disease. It is the same for humans. Unfortunately, nobody that I know of has ever experimented with the connection of organics and metals. So this disease is novel. It is new.
And the only people that we did find that had experimented with it, we killed.
Unfortunately.
There's no overlap with organic or metal cleaning instruments, so I'd be at a loss as to how you would do it either.
No. Moonshine. Clean both.
Well, I assume you've already tried this.
I have tried disinfection, I have tried magic, I have tried amputation, but its course is indolent until it arises. It is nearly impossible to trace.
We're all infected and don't know it. Good.
No, it would probably only be from his meshing that he's infected, right? It can't spread, it can't spread, right?
We've been with him this whole time. You'd think if they're quarantining, it's so crazy they got guards. You'd think we'd show something.
Also, I do not know. Diseases and viruses, they have the ability to adapt to change. It is the nature of this sort of corruption. Of course, this is only hypothetical. There is a very large chance that this has nothing to do with the gear that I brought into the city.
Sure.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's just a bunch of tentacle freaks in there and they're just trying to keep it on the down low.
It could be tentacles. Yes.
There is only one way to find out.
Well, we fought the sky tentacles, we fought the sea tentacles. Time to fight the land tentacles.
The city tentacles.
At this point, a small male halfling with kind of red hair and narrow gray eyes comes up to you. Hi, my name is Walton. I'm here to take your order. Would you be interested in the stewed partridge and buckwheat bread and maybe some tankards of cider?
I think we all collectively look at Clyde for what his usual is.
Clyde is getting the creme brulee, but he's going to request if CC and Sia are here, the pseudo dragon and waitress combo, and the reason he comes into this cafe all the time.
So it is the girl.
Cece, I think, worked the morning shift this morning. She's usually here for breakfast. Though I think she sometimes works the afternoon. I don't know. I don't often work with her. I'm sorry. I don't know your usual. I apologize, but we've also got some smoked grouse, or some salted pork. It comes with some dried watercress.
Sure, Walter. Give us a round of that and some coffees.
Would you like cream and sugar with your coffees?
Just bring it to the table.
All right, can do. Thank you so much. He makes his way away.
He ain't gonna last, guys.
This is that moment where the waiter shows up and Clyde goes, I know more than you.
Like, can I just go talk to the chef in the back? He knows my stuff. He knows me.
But yeah, the food comes, the coffee is excellent and wonderful. The creme brulee is brought, and Weston kind of carefully holds this little dragon upon his arm, and it seems just about as skeptical as he is, and it kind of looks back and forth with its eyes as he kind of coaxes it, and it takes a little bit, but finally it breathes onto the custard, giving it a nice broiled surface.
Nice.
Danger.
Indeed.
A bon appetite.
Pocket danger.
Bon appetite.
I don't know why that sounds wrong, but it sounds wrong. That made my ears hurt.
It's because it's a dwarven pronunciation of an elvish word.
Oh, that makes sense.
Can we just appreciate the time that our DM putting into making this waiter have the most punchable voice ever? I was expecting to stop Clyde from leaping across the table.
He is a little bummed that CC's not here. CC and Sia.
I love little dweebish Weston.
I
I would call him
Walton.
Walton.
I think I called him Wilson.
Wilson!
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh.
Did I miss
That was
something?
from the pre-honeymoon.
Oh, I was like,
Beautiful.
what am I missing here?
The foreplay.
Oh gosh.
So after getting your early morning snack, what's next for
And
you?
finding
all?
where Clyde spends most of his time when he's not with the
Wait.
party.
Wait, this is our early morning snack, but he said she normally works the morning shift.
Sorry, mid-morning.
No, I'm about to say, yeah. It's like 10:30. We just missed her because I went with you guys.
Continuity
Ah,
errors, honestly.
Ooh, Poco's gonna get hooked on the coffee.
The best ever.
I need more.
It's quite good. I'm just saying, it's how I got through many a work day, especially long research days.
Yeah.
It
is wonderfully
chalk,
warm
I just
and
crimped in my
bitter.
armor. But I need more.
Oh.
Okay. Well, after a lovely libation and luncheon, we should.
Yeah, final meal. Let's go catch super cancer.
Luncheon? Excuse you.
Yo,
This is
super.
this is brunchin.
Catch
Yes,
super
but
cancer.
brunchin isn't alliterative with lovely and libation.
Talking about this is second breakfast.
Yeah, Clyde's like, I've already eaten 3 times, guys.
Yeah. What?
Alright, let's go. Let's go and find someone and go. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
All right, making your way back out to the city. It does take some time to navigate across this city. And by the time you've reached and found the hospice of St. Lopson, it is decently into the afternoon. And what you see is the North Ward is kind of a mix of different buildings. But this one isn't affected by the same types of architecture that surrounds everywhere else, where most things are built up 3, 4, 5, 6 stories up as things are kind of piled on top of each other. This hospice is a tallish building, but nothing has been built on top of it. And in fact, even the areas around it, there is kind of a certain distance that people have kept. And so its grounds have been maintained relatively consistently. And the building itself is kind of like a cross where it has a first kind of entryway, and then it seems to have 3 kind of circular chambers off the main entryway. And across the top of it is just a simple wooden sign that says Hospice of St. Lopson. But outside are what look to be guards, but they're almost more thug-like, where they are in this kind of thick, rustic, heavy armor with these skirt or dress-like bottom portions of their clothing that are like these long skirts that go down towards the ground, and you can't even see their boots. They don't have any helmets, but instead have these masks that cover their face and are completely shaved heads. And you see across their back are kind of these like greenish patina-like metal canisters, and each one of them has a long rustic halberd in their hands. And there's 2 of them on either side of the doorway here at the front of the hospice.
All right.
Boko.
Quick question before we go in: are we disguising Boko or taking Boko as is?
Probably as is.
Okay. It's-
As is will get us in. It may not get him out.
yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
We'll
I have
definitely
a
get in.
flirtatious helm he can wear to get out.
Boko will also turn to everybody and say, "This place may be dangerous as far as exposing you to things that are less than pleasant. I would not be offended if any of you decided you did not want to accompany me.
Oh, don't worry. I don't want to accompany you. But I'm gonna.
Clyde, you are perhaps the only one that may be invulnerable to all of the bugs and diseases within.
Oh?
Why?
You've had them all before.
Ah! I got most of her back then.
Did you say that they'd be airborne by chance?
It is unknown.
How else could it spread, out of curiosity?
I mean, there's a couple ways I've found out through the years.
Ugh. I assume it doesn't work like those.
We will have to...
All right. Which librarian fucked the gear?
Oh boy.
Either way, though, if you need somebody to assist you, I've actually upgraded this thing to be able to seal off outside air from within. So if it's airborne, I should be able to negate it.
Interesting. I guess we just go ask the guards, the very scary looking guards.
Yeah, they are, and they're tall. Like, they're immense, muscular, heavily equipped.
Clyde. Hello, gentlemen.
State your business.
We're here about the plague thing going on. This guy here seems to know quite a bit about it. He's got to talk to people. And this guy wants to get in there for other reasons.
I don't think we can help you.
This, he points to Roland, is a cleric and I am a surgeon. We are from outside of town. We heard that you are experiencing some kind of quarantine infection, and we have come to offer some assistance.
He's from outside of town. I'm from inside of town, and my church is quarantined, and I want to talk to someone who can tell me why.
The individual doesn't really look at either of you, and just kind of openly addresses kind of both of you at the same time, just still looking forward. You said you were some kind of doctor?
Yes.
Do you have any paperwork that can prove such? Or any relevant experience?
Most of my experience is in amputations. And he just stands there as reference to his own experience.
For the
he
first...
assisted me with a very delicate eye surgery.
Yeah.
I help with that too. And I can cure disease on a limited basis.
And I don't know if I got this moonshine. It does cure what ails you. I don't know. Maybe it'll work on this.
We're gonna try something new, and we're gonna do a group check. And I would like for one of you to determine who would like to lead this check.
If it's social combat, it's Clyde.
If it's persuasion.
Yeah. So
probably.
So what is it for? Yeah, if it's persuasion. That's
so this
the
is you guys
answer.
trying to get through, and you guys are gonna have options to kind of support this. Where if Clyde is the leader, Clyde will be making a persuasion check, but all of you will be able to affect the DC. And so each of you can select or can describe how you are going to try and make an impact and propose the roll. And then you will make that roll, and then you will adjust the DC of Clyde's final persuasion roll. So think about how you might be able to help this group check and what ability or skill that might be related to.
So for instance, like Jasira could say, I want to help with a medicine check because I have this medical ability to cure disease with one of my abilities, healing hands or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So trying to intricately
Okay.
describe your experiences and your abilities, you can go ahead and make me a medicine check. Great. Or Jasira.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I see how this works.
Okay, so we'll just try it. We'll just try it.
Everyone show off your
Nope,
skills.
That's trash. You can tell she doesn't talk to people. She got a little
All right.
nervous, but she's like, I heal things, and kind of looking down
Did
at the
I punch
ground
them?
while she's explaining.
Okay. Sometimes
I punch, sometimes I bandage.
Maybe I can punch the sickness out of them.
does anyone else have something that they would like to try and use to assist?
I would like to, in the sake of not doubling up on the check, because we already got a persuasion, I'm going to kind of show off and say, luckily we've also got a lot of people that are quite good with interesting tech. So I think that we could all be of quite good use here, and just kind of show some of the features on the suit and try and do a performance check to try and improve it.
Oh, you're selling Steam.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do
Steam
it.
does clean things, and
Yeah, steam bath.
yes.
Steam bath is going to be the cure.
Okay, Thishal, you can roll a performance check,
Team
but this is
Thishal.
going to be at disadvantage.
Okay. That is
question.
fine.
is it limited to just skills, or can we leverage like our knowledge of tools and actual physical ability? Like,
If you can give me a rationale, I'll listen to it. I can't make any promises, but I'll listen to it.
yeah, Boko will remove one of his arms
Ooh.
and show him the stump and pull out his tools and illustrate the actual entire process of how he amputated, lining up the scars and showing what tool applies to what on both the mechanical and the organic side.
Okay.
Make an intimidation check. At advantage.
Levering
Hell
my
yeah.
very, very specifically augmented Tinkerer set that has
Look at this
scalpels
neat trick.
and spanners in it.
Yeah, go ahead
Oh
and
my
make me
God.
go and make me a check.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you get
Take off
this?
the arms effective.
Do you get this check at advantage?
So I get Tinkerer's checks at advantage from my feat in the artisan tree. I can.
Then I think
Right,
go
so-
ahead and take this at advantage. Go and roll one more time.
Ooh.
Pretty good roll.
Higher,
but-
though. I thought I could curse it. And,
Yeah.
like,
I wasn't sure if it technically
no.
applied because I was leveraging Tinkers, not
Yeah.
actually tinkering. So
And then Roland, do you have anything you would like to do to try and add to this?
I'd love to tie into my knowledge of the history of the city and the history of that church to say, like, I know that building, I know the area, I can figure out what's going wrong.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Give me a history check.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
Good.
say a quick prayer for guidance as I do this. Okay.
Our holy
Solid,
man. What's
average.
up?
I will say typically, at least for a lot of these kind of on the spot of the moment checks, if you know that something is going to be coming up, I want you to kind of have to preemptively guidance. I'm not going to allow you to tack that on when we're in the middle. If it's something that you're rolling in isolation, that's fine. But like a group check like this,
Okay.
typically. So just giving you warning that like if you know you're coming up to something, it might be worthwhile
We were
casting ahead
walking
of
up
time.
to a group of guards.
Yeah,
Assume I always have guidance running if we're about to talk.
It's not gonna touch.
Yes.
I'm just gonna need occasional reminders at least. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. But regardless, so you guys have made your rolls. You've adjusted the
Yeah.
DC behind the screen. And then Clyde, if you'd like to go ahead and make the final persuasion.
Of course, you generally see we have a group of talented individuals with different abilities, and let's see.
Yay. That's
I should
okay.
have given him guidance.
Yeah.
So
wait, I can't see it. What is it?
So in this case,
19?
it started at a DC 15. It went up by 2 to a DC 17. It went up by 3 to a DC 20, and then went down by 3 and down by 2 to a DC 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
And so
So net
that's
zero,
the
but
type
it's
of
okay.
mechanics that will be behind some of these group checks when we go to them. It's going to be something that we'll try out here. But as you guys have all, as a team, kind of worked to provide different pieces of persuasion to this individual, again, not so much breaking, but he just kind of looks past and gives a slight nod.
Head inside and talk to Master Clegane.
Oh, I don't like that name.
Yeah, me neither.
Master Clegane?
Fullgate?
Are we talking to the hound or the mountain that rides?
Especially because I'm getting, like, this song sounds like it's the Game of Thrones theme song.
So as the door is opened up for you, you all step inside. And inside, it is a very lightly lit area, especially opposed to the cafe, which was alight with beautiful artificial, magically enhanced lights. This one is the dim light coming through a few shuttered windows. There are a few of these magical lamps overhead, providing some almost worse lighting than what is in here. It's enough to see and to look at things, but for the most part, it is very dim, and your eyes have to kind of adjust for a moment. And there is just this smell, just this wave of purification. This type of sensation of walking into a kind of sanctified space. It just feels so clean, it's uncomfortable, because you know that they have to clean this regularly. There's got to be something that they're cleaning. And you look, and there is just lined across the walls in this open space, just cots and various people laying across the cots, almost all of them in semi-states of catatonic. As you walk in, you see a few other individuals, these guards in the same garb, all of them bald, all of them with the same mask and rustic-like armor with the skirts. But there are a few other individuals in these white-like clothing with red interior on these cloaks that just kind of drape across their arms. And as you walk inside, one of them, a young human woman, she's got kind of light, whitish blonde hair, very soft features, kind of slowly walks up to you. Welcome to the hospice. How can I help you?
Are you Master Clegane?
No, I am Miss Unsu. Master Clegane is over there, and she kind of points, and there is another figure in this in the white robes, but a man standing tall with this kind of graying, bristling beard that is grown in, a mat of gray hair, talking to what looks to be a couple of nobles, men in much finer dress, kind of suit coats and slacks with enchanted amulets around their neck, and they're kind of conversing off to the center where this kind of cross begins to split. But the three other doorways, or the three other passageways, all have doors in front of them. But they're kind of in this central area down past all of the cots.
Question. This disease that is currently being quarantined within the city, what is it you can tell us about it?
I think, Boko, I'm going to ask you to make another persuasion check here.
Okay.
Oh,
no.
You knew.
Is there a reason that you're interested in the infection?
We are... This, he gestures towards Roland, is a cleric. This, he gestures towards Jasira, is a healer, and I am a doctor from somewhere that is not here. We simply seek to aid. It is currently standing in our way. We are seeking to reach somewhere within the quarantine zone arming ourselves with knowledge of what is being quarantined and assisting those that are afflicted aligns with something that we are working on.
Well, what he wants to say is we want to help.
So, Mr. Doctor, somewhere that's not here, do you think that you are more talented than the clerics of the hospice?
No, we simply are here to learn.
So you want to learn of what people suffer with? You want to see people in pain and learn something from them? This is not a school.
Are you saying that you have enough hands to take care of all these sick individuals?
I am saying that I question your motives. And
I can accept that.
I am suspicious of those who look like adventurers wandering the streets causing trouble. There are many of you in this city, and I can smell and sense those who have motives that may not be on the surface. There's no good reason for anyone to go into the quarantine zone unless you want to contract a very deadly and painful disease. So I ask you to be more specific. What are your intentions? Because it is not just to help.
I am from the House of Inspired Hands. I was removed from there when the flying tentacle monster attacked the city. I'm trying to get home. These people are with me. They all have their own motivations, but that is my motivation, true and honest. I want to get back to the library that I've spent several years in, and back to my life's work.
There's a moment where she kind of thinks and processes, trying to judge what you've told her.
And again, the symbol of Anatar on the amulet, the holy symbol, is displayed prominently.
If I can be honest with you, I don't think you're getting to that temple anytime soon, no matter how equipped you are. If you want the details, you can talk to Alistair. But there is a lot of work that we have to do on the outside before we can get close enough to the temple.
The details would be wonderful. Could you point us in that direction? We have no idea what's going on, and we are trying to learn what is going on. We just got back.
She kind of gives a glance to the man at the end of the hall, who seems to be still conversing, and she kind of looks back to you all. A few weeks, months, we're unsure. But some time ago, a epidemic of sorts started. And we know that the epicenter of such is somewhere close to the House of Inspired Hands. We don't know exactly where, but there is a few block radius that we have not been able to get a cleric far enough in, because they are so overcome by this outbreak that they never make it back. Those who have gone shorter ways have experienced some effects, the same effects that the people who were there during whatever this was were. It's some sort of progressive infection. And it's infectious even after those are dead, which is why we can't send people in that far. We only have a few brief descriptions of what exactly happens, and our few observations from those who we have properly protected to some degree. This is not like something we are familiar with, but it seems to evolve or grow through them. It's the descriptions are people feel strange inside. It's not something tangible, but it is something they feel and something that seems to grow outside of their body, but it's not visible until it reaches the surface. It seems to be eroding their bodies.
Hello, guys. Welcome to The Last of Us.
This is why we
Thought I
have.
recognized this.
This is why we have erected certain barriers around, so that no one goes near until we have done the proper tests. We have gathered a few select samples under extreme precaution, and we have a base just inside some of the barriers that is testing them. We hope to try and find some sort of cure or way to reverse what is going on, but I won't lie to you, it has not been optimistic.
Boko will look at her and he will say, "You have every right to not believe us. But I am telling the truth when I say, this is what I am here to do. All of my memory, I have helped people, specifically that struggle with illness or death. So I can understand where you are coming from, even if you do not trust me. You surely must need some sort of supplies, something. Again, you know we are adventurers. We have the ability to attain things not many people can. Perhaps that is a way that we can show you we are serious."
She kind of gives that heavy sigh. It's not supplies that we're struggling with. The hospice has dealt with epidemics and infections for many years, and we are well equipped in that way to deal with things and to be prepared. We maintain safeguards for the city, but this is special. And she gives a glance back, and it seems that the conversation that has ended and the nobles are kind of walking by you. And Roland and Thishalt, go ahead and roll me history checks.
Oh, ignore that 4.
While they're doing that, Boko will look back at her and he'll say, "Do you have anybody within the hospice that is currently afflicted? Perhaps in an isolation ward?"
With a very thick glass window in between us and them.
Boko, I'm gonna have you, I think, roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Oh!
So she responds, "No, all of our subjects are still within the perimeter to be kept incredibly safe." But you see the slight twitches in the eye, you see the tics in the lips that tell or that indicate that she is in the middle of a lie.
No, they've never watched a zombie movie.
You are able to infer that they do, in fact, have maybe not someone, but something, some connection, something that she's not telling you is here.
They have the gear.
Boko will wait until... does Master Clegane look like he's going to approach us?
As these two gentlemen walk by, Thishalt, it doesn't seem to register for you, but neither of these faces register for you, but Roland, you do recognize one who is seems to be of some level of siren descent with the features on his face, and his kind of black hair, thinner eyes. You know that this is a nobleman you've heard referred to as Yasmin, and Yasmin is someone that is connected with, or is rumored to have connections with some of the criminal syndicates within the city. So specifically the one known as the Zentarum.
Uh-huh. I recognize that name. Why do I specifically recognize that name?
I go through notes.
Can you spell it for me, please?
Yasmin?
Yasmin.
Yasmin.
But as they head out of the hospice, you do see as who has been referred to as Master Clegane, but who you also heard Sunya say is Elias. So Elias Clegane kind of takes a few steps over to you, kind of a deep sigh in his voice as he steps up.
Well, it's good to see some new standing faces in the hospice.
What was the woman's name that we were speaking with just now?
Her name was Sansu.
Sansu. Boko will look to Master Clegane, and in a low voice, he will say, "Sir, we are adventurers with talents that we would like to leverage for the benefit of the hospice. We have a particular interest in this quarantine, and Sansu has recently told us that you are currently in possession of something or someone that is infected with this disease. Perhaps we could take a look and see if we can apply our knowledge."
Boku, you notice a bit of just some eyes widening from Sansu, just slightly, as an eye kind of flicks over towards her, and Elias looks back over at you all.
We have been studying some of the infected within the quarantine zone, yes. And you all believe that you could assist with this?
Potentially. And I also would like to offer our utmost discretion. And he looks directly at Clyde.
I wasn't there.
What is it specifically that you all could offer?
Have you tried distilled moonlight?
I feel many people would laugh you off, but it is amazing how often that is a valid cure to many of the things that ail us here.
See?
Oh my god, Clyde just found his best friend.
Yeah, he did.
Don't encourage him.
Alas, moonshine will not be of assistance for this particular ailment.
In that case, this gentleman with the detachable arms, probably the best bet if weird cure-all is what you're looking for.
As a scholar, I would like to assume that you understand the benefit of well-traveled people who have acquired many skills. That is what we are.
Ooh. our party, should we leverage that we have a cure to lycanthropy here?
That might
They
cause
may not
more
know
panic than it
lycanthropes are
solves.
But
problem.
but it could just add just something to add. We were traveling, just add it to their records, and then it sets us up as.
Lycanthropy
We do have the recipe.
Yes,
right
exactly.
now.
We have the recipe that we gathered
But
from an
lycanthropy
outskirts
was
town.
gone, and so if we run around saying that we have a cure for lycanthropy,
They'll be like,
then
what's up with that?
I mean,
why does it still exist to have a cure for it?
It's this cure. That's
And
kind of what they're
Greta
looking
gets
for.
quarantined.
I don't think it's a detriment to let people know that lycanthropy is back.
That's fair.
Especially a
And
house
giving
of
people
healing.
who can spread the cure, and it gives us a little bit of an in.
Does Clyde bring that up? Because Boko would probably offer that.
Greta's gonna get quarantined, Boko.
Clyde probably would. Because if we're struggling to look for a way in, Clyde would bring up that, well, we've actually had some experience in obscure cures for diseases and things that people thought were gone.
No, please do inform me.
Yeah, well, you just have to take my word for it, but we ran into someone suffering from lycanthropy, if you can believe it.
Quite a few people, actually.
They did get better, though, but most of them got better. Some of them got better the only way you can. But
Some of them
We
are
did.
permanently better.
we did find an actual cure for it.
There's a long pause as he kind of takes a breath and like studies you all very carefully.
No.
We might look like bullshitters, but we ain't bullshitting you now.
Boko will reach into his pouch and pull out a vial of lycanthropy cure and the written recipe, and I'll hold it out and I'll say, a sign of goodwill. Give this to your scientists. They can run whatever tests, potentially recreate it if they wish.
And Elias kind of reaches out for the recipe and just kind of holds it in his hand and looks it over. Kind of shows it to Sensu, and she kind of nods.
It matches the one in our records.
Phew, at least others know about it.
What's... I don't know if it's more concerning that I do believe you and that I do know that you have what you say you have. Where was this outbreak of lycanthropy?
What would be northeast of here?
No,
It's
it's
just 'cause
far
And
east
those are
of here.
principalities.
Super. Yeah,
Clyde's
it's
just
like
gonna
super
be-
east.
It was a ways east of here.
On the other side of the mountains, the Morholds,
Hmm.
right?
Many weeks travel.
Yeah.
It was our unfortunate experience that the curse of lycanthropy was
Not
intoxicating
as
to
extinct
some.
as we thought.
Yes, and those that had it were allured by its youthfulness and its beauty and rejected
Strength.
the cure. Unfortunately, those people had to be eradicated.
If I were you, depending on how your thoughts are about those of the clergy, you may not want to go widely spreading that story.
I told you.
I hope for your sake that all of them were cured in one way or another,
They were.
but the Church of the Silver Flame has particular interest in that topic. And
I am aware.
if they know you are associated, then they will not leave you alone, should you take my meaning. However, you have offered us discretion, and I will give you this benefit in return. as well as the advice. Should you all be able to assist us, you appear to be equipped, and he kind of looks over at the large mechanical armor that is the Schalt, and the various kind of bits and pieces of armaments that the rest of you carry. I take it that you all have some experience as perhaps members of a guild or independent adventurers or mercenaries of some sort.
Been around the block.
Karlachtin in particular, has been involved in artifice for some time. We assisted with the developments of the first lightning rails. We worked with Ondair to put together the very first airships. And we even were involved with Sire to develop the Warforged, whether or not we'll always admit to it or not. This infection, this disease, it's not even really a disease per se. It's not widely known, but some of us who have studied the tomes of such topics have seen it referenced. We believe that this could have been some sort of experimental, what we assume was at first research, based on my studies, but what quickly during times of war, research can be turned into weapons. It is my belief that Sire may have been experimenting with infectious technology. They're the only ones that I am aware of who have extensive workings in biomancy, manipulating organic material with that of metal and artifice.
Guys, hide the siren with a prosthetic. Out of character.
Stands in front of Oko just a little bit.
Imagine this highly intelligent individual has put 2 and 2 together.
Hey, speaking of this highly intelligent individual, I don't recognize this guy, do I?
You can roll me a history check if you would like.
Okay,
I thought you were... I totally thought you were going to be like, speaking of this highly intelligent individual, I am going to.
I'm more worried about a little factor that he knows about the Warforged and is a high-ranking, very intelligent person in just society in general that I may have presented my research to.
Yeah, Clyde.
So we're gonna find out.
The Warforged.
This guy graded your dissertation.
Something like that maybe. Let's find out.
And could you type out his name again when you get a chance?
Yeah.
Make sure I have it spelled well.
Elias Clegane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So, the Schalt, you don't recognize the name Clegane, but you do know a bit of the history of the hospice, and a bit of the nature of Karrnath in general, of where it connects. So, in the City of Splendors in Karlachtin, there is worship of many different deities, as well as uncommon sects of deities. And one of those is the Three Faces of War. And the Three Faces of War is kind of a sect of the Sovereign Host. And what makes it rare is that it's they celebrate 3 individuals. Dol Ara, Dol Dorn, and Dol Azur. Dol Ara and Dol Dorn are common within worship of the Sovereign Host. However, Dol Azur is less common. And there is a certain stigma around those who publicly worship the three faces of war anywhere outside of Karnath. However, Karnath is known to be more accepting of more of less common and more taboo religions. And the three faces of war are kind of looking at those three paths. And Dol Arzer in particular is the patron sovereign of the hospice. And he's known as the broken god, or the god of suffering and compassion. And the hospice is set up to be this place to protect and learn from those who are suffering. And at one point, there were actually large portions of the citizenry that were affected and afflicted with fiendish plagues. And it was only the fact that the hospice existed and was prepared for outbreaks like that kept it from spreading through the rest of the city, as well as some adventurers who had put a stop to the source. But this is an off-brand religion, and certainly one that is not very common. But as far as Elias himself, he does not seem familiar.
Oh, good. Okay, so they're Delazar worshippers, which I guess is a little interesting in this context, but nobody that I've probably, more importantly, said some things that maybe go against their philosophy, and thus probably wouldn't be recognizable, so good to know.
Yeah, at least not directly that you know of.
This place is becoming more and more juicy to Boko, as time goes on.
But Elias continues on. From my studies, there is one of the cities within Sire. It's known as Making. It was the hub for much of their scientific studies. Within the city, there are many different workshops and places. I'm not quite certain exactly where the source of this information that we're looking for could be, but I hope it is within the city. If you all feel that you are up to the task, I would ask that you work with one of my companions who is assisting us with this study and travel across the borders of the Dead Grey Mist into the Mournlands. Find this city and the information that we need to help us put a stop to the infection. Is that something? Is that help that you all could provide?
Yes. Boko speaks before anybody else gets a chance to.
That's just are we? I mean,
all right, yeah, sure.
Are all of us able to do that?
Two of us have in the recent past, actually.
The Great Mist is significantly more traversable than it was 100 years ago.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I've been there. I kind of loath to go back, but we could. I might be able to get in contact with some people who know some safer routes.
Not supposed to be all familiar with it, then, meh.
Familiar is a very, very strong term, but I've been there. And it's gotten better since then.
It is still highly dangerous, but if you know what you are looking for, it is possible.
As a shock to no one, I'm not a fan of places that limit visibility.
No, but there's things there you don't want to see you.
The mists have changed over the past few decades. Rumors still abound, but we have sent some expeditions for various things in the past. The mists are only about a mile wide. There are still plenty of dangers within the continent or the country. but the visibility is only limited within that outer border.
Good. Good. I'd like to see what's coming at me until it no longer is.
Well, if you are interested, there is an individual from the tower that I am working with by the name of Echo Greystorm. He is helping us to study this infection and has some experience with multiple arcane manipulations. He has found a group that is willing to escort him and some others, such as yourselves, from the river outside of Sire, across the river, and through the border. If you all are indeed interested, I would ask that you meet up with Mr. Greystorm, and he can give you further information about the institute that we believe holds the information that we need.
Everybody nods silently.
Sounds good to me.
Be crass, but you did identify us as adventurers, and we are trying to make a living in an expensive city.
We are a funded operation by the city. Should you be able to help us put an end to this infection, you will be not only handsomely paid, but also be considerably in the graces of the Lord's Alliance that rules over the city, which comes with quite a bit of renown and opens many doors for whatever ventures you are interested in.
Well, if I'm just going to look at Roland, I think this would certainly be a high value to have.
And if we make it halfway and then get you items that are of use to this great end, but then decide that the risk level has gotten too high for us.
You are at any time welcome to make that decision. I can't promise payment. If you bring back certain items, I will give you value, and I'm sure you can sell many items from within Sire's borders if you decide to cut early. But I hope and pray that you will not and that you will fall through. But it is up to you at any time to decide when your safety is more important. But you said you wanted to help the citizens, and if you are intent of trying to cure this, as I believe you may be, then this, I believe, is our best path forward.
Fair enough.
After all, I am a priest, and so I rely on faith at the end of the day.
I am a priest too, just not a saint.
This should also serve as a good opportunity to field test this new armor, actually. So, perhaps being able to take it out there and bring this stuff back will be a mark of success. Something that hopefully will make the rounds in the gossip circles.
And we've come full circle. 2 years later, you're in the same city saying the same phrase.
I need this!
Well,
Boko will look at Master Clegane and he'll say, "You have offered us money and you have offered us renown. I assume the attitude of the hospice will also change should we succeed."
of course.
And since we are currently bending your faith, Is there a chance that we could see this infected individual or artifact that you currently have to give us some idea of what it is we are looking for?
Boko, you and I really should let Clyde talk more.
It would help. But also, Clyde in this case doesn't. Boko is definitely the one who would want to be talking about this.
Above the table, that's a good idea. At the table, I don't think Boko would be able to shut the fuck up about this whole thing.
Exactly.
Hey.
I don't believe
Same.
that the individuals would provide you any insight. And as much as I have faith in you all, I do not want to risk outbreak by providing more people access beyond the walls. However, if you come back with a cure, I will let you deliver it to the individual that we are studying, the individuals that we are studying, should you wish, or can escort you in to see the delivery. But until that time, we have to keep the quarantine zone as restricted as possible. Now, Mr. Greystorm does have the tome that we have used to research this institute, and it may provide insights and should give you the information that will allow you to find what we are seeking. Should you be willing to take this up, he is staying at the Grinning Lion Tavern here in the North Ward. You can search it out and ask for his name, and he can give you the details, and you all can set up a meeting point after that. I encourage you all to find and take care of any business that you may have before talking to him, as he is not one to be patient and will likely want to set out right away.
Understood. I hope to see you soon.
As do I. I wish you all the best of luck.
You'll need it.
Yeah, we will.
And with that, he kind of gives you a nod, and unless there's any other business that you have, you all make your exit of the hospice.
Alright, does anyone have any other business in town? See, I was hoping that we were going to get to town and get to, run a nice quiet shop and...
You all still could!
We have to fill the shop with artifacts from Seer. That's how we're going to make the money.
My family literally has a store. My family literally has a storefront here. It's fine. We could run it out of there.
He has the sign. If longer than 10 minutes, refer to above. It's infinite.
Do we have enough wares that we've created to make it financially viable to keep the store open while we're gone? Do we have to hire staff?
Austin, is this I kind of pitched this as being a front and not a legitimate business.
So, I had 8 different ways that this session could have gone, and different plot threads that you guys could have latched onto, and still can. The business...
Oh, let's go find all of them then.
The business is indeed kind of supplied. Roland has arranged for the rent. And right now, no one has come collecting. You guys have a few things that Clyde has gathered from the travels that you're selling, but you haven't really had a launching yet. So you guys are certainly more than welcome if you would like to build up a business. Or you could go grab a bunch of really valuable things from Sire, bring them back, and use that to fully launch your business. Is another option.
I will say, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I also like the whole getting a bunch of renown thing from this, specifically, hopefully, attributing it to certain tech that has been developed.
There's also, though, we
certain tech that has developed, i.e., Jasira's knitting needles.
We just ran the renown route. We were hobnobbing with pirate kings and lords and in massive political upheavals.
They aren't funding my paycheck.
I'm tired.
And
time to go straight.
Elias,
straight arrow.
Elias himself didn't seem to put any sort of timeline on it. He said that whenever you guys are ready, you should go talk to him, because as soon as you talk to him, it's going to kick off a timer. But up until
Level
now,
12.
you
Got
have
it.
time.
Oh.
I mean, if this is what we think it is, Boku is also currently afflicted by it.
Yeah.
And Boko will be better able to deal with it at level 12.
I am a walking, talking vector. I am patient 0.
Oh lordy.
I wasn't planning to go into Seer today, but all right.
Oh god.
I will
Also-
say that, Boko, you do know that the village that you had talked about going to with Jasira is roughly on the path to the river. There's
Fuck.
there's a stop in the city, but
Oops.
you walked to Carlacton was your first city, so you know it's close by, and you know
And
it's between here and Sire.
That
That's
would
my
have been
tasty.
essentially what Boko would have said would have been the meeting point with Greystorm. If he went, okay, meet me somewhere, he would have probably tried to set the meeting point around that village or on the outskirts of it.
And yeah, but so it's up to you all what you want to do, when you want to do it. I'm just providing options.
I built a character that was designed to be an underworld enforcer in a big city, and we're about to just go gallivanting off into the wilderness again.
Yep.
Okay, but at least we're on land.
Well, hold on. I actually don't
I
mind
built
staying
that
in
character with a background of being on the sea, so I was more comfortable on the sea.
Yeah, but I wasn't. It was
I
rough.
think I might want to use Roland to get an in with the recent smugglers to see if there's any secret routes to get
I will
over
say-
I think
here.
I got us a shop.
I would like to probably stay in the city
Specifically.
at least for a while to get making contact with my parents and maybe a couple other folks. So this is probably also incentivized.
Again, yeah, this is a plot thread. It is by no means what you have to do next. It is just an option. The
Let's enjoy the city a little bit.
Nah,
Yes.
nah, let's fucking go.
I do agree with that, actually. Hold on. I
And-
just want to get around so that I can inevitably get shot down again by the lords.
And-
or maybe not.
and I gave the path that is in the direction. The path that is in the opposite direction is the one that Jasira had mentioned, because the estate is the
Yeah.
opposite way.
Let's do that. Let's burn an estate and then come back to
Okay.
the city, and then
All right.
I will say part of the divulged information from Mr. GM is that Cade tried to scry and it did not go through. So who knows what that means?
We'll just go burn it down for shits and giggles, and then we have to we gotta hide out of town for a few months.
Does that
Yeah.
mean Tove could have gone back to Mabar?
or she's
I don't really know what that means. I did not insight that, and I don't know if inciting that is something she can do, because it's not like she is familiar with how scrying works. But she could be in a different plane. She could be dead. Who knows?
Yeah,
All I know-
Cade would at least be able to tell you that there's 3 different ways that it would fail. Dead is one of them. In a different plane, there's a chance. And then she could have just had the willpower to resist if she had chosen to resist, or naturally resisted. Because scrying isn't something you always know is happening, but those are the 3 things that could happen.
I will say, the minute that we get some sort of like renown or big thing, I say we go back to the academy and I go get them to finally accept that Steam is going to be the way of the future. I'm just saying.
I don't think you're gonna get the renown from burning down a manor.
Not from the man. I'm just saying eventually. This is my roadmap.
Long-term
plan.
planning.
Team can do. House, no more house.
Now,
If we
I
go
will
the renown
also
route,
admit.
I need to be wearing a different face from the mob enforcer face.
Now, one other thing I will admit, another way that I could make my way to the top in this whole thing is through, city channels. A little bit of back alley deal now that I've actually figured out there's people like that. So I'm also okay with that. But the minute we get that kind of influence, I will probably want to go to the academy.
I just want to go to church, man.
Well,
Hey, I want to
well,
go
if
to
you
your
wanna
church too.
First, you have to go to an awful land.
Oh god.
If you want to go to that church, anyway.
That's his
I'm
church.
gonna go to that church too, so I can throw my armor into a backpack.
I'm also on the train of doing this. This is the entire reason that Boko came to Carlacton.
I just got us a shop.
I know, buddy. I know.
The strings I pulled.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind keeping the shop. That space is prime real estate.
I mean, you guys
swear.
don't lose the shop if you take this.
Hey.
Again, it's all things that are happening simultaneous. They're different options.
It's also an empty shop. I've got the leftovers nobody wanted to buy while we were traveling here.
Empty, but it's mine.
It had a porch. I could lean back in a chair and read a book.
Wait, that porch had a cistern 4 stories up.
I had an umbrella.
I have been equipped with a trench coat of presidigitation.
Oh,
I can brood
ew,
very cleanly.
So, at least for now,
No.
it is well into the afternoon. At this end of late summer day. Is there anything you all would like to do today before kind of making decisions for the future?
I think I would probably sit down with Roland if possible.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Roland would say, perfect. So I'd like to just take the chance to talk to him and be like, all right. You clearly know, as we've figured out, a lot of the corners of this city that I have no information on.
And you know a lot of the broad streets that I have never walked.
Exactly. So that means that you already know where I'm going with this next. With my overworld marketeering skills and your ability to make dealings in the underworld, between the two of us, over the course of, I wonder how long it would take with all these things. Of course, whatever time period it would take, we can probably get what we both want. Obviously, we both want to get into the church, right?
So, out of character, what you're saying right now is that, overworld, underworld, and marketing, which means that you're trying to market on multiple levels?
Yes, I am indeed.
It would work great at
multi-level marketing.
Also, it's written in between the lines, but he's about to make you an offer you can't refuse.
I'm not leaving the gun, but I'll take the cannoli.
No, the gun is the gun is something that has clearly been doing you well and will continue to do you even better.
Oh,
But
that
what I'm
kind of
saying is-
multi-level marketing. Okay, I'm interested.
But what I'm saying is that you and I can continue to work together like this. My artificer power continues to get better and better, as does your powers with all the things that you've been doing. I think that we can continue to make each other, well, better in the both the public sense here, as well as the power that we would need to get through places like Sire.
What do you have in mind?
I know you're not wanting to leave the city again, but it does seem like this would be the fastest way for us to get back into that temple.
I mean, technically, the fastest way would be to break through the quarantine and risk the infection, but...
Yeah, but...
We've taken that one off the board for now.
We're going to put a pin in that.
Until we get the party member with lesser restoration back, I don't want to.
You know what? We're gonna keep looking, but that's a great backup.
The problem with that is it kind of undermines my strategy of getting a lot of renown in the city and to the higher-ups that I need to buy into this whole deal. Look, they didn't like the Steam stuff that I've been doing when I did the first go-around. My research was tabled, right? Which means that they're probably just going to come back to whatever they feel like. And I need to prove to them that this is worth its weight in, I suppose, gold, if you want to say it. But really, it's all it needs is metal. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that I feel like I really need this, but I feel like you also would appreciate having yourself not only firmly seated here in the underworld, but perhaps a friend from on high? You got any nobles that you happen to have connections with?
Jasir.
Is that the guy that you just saw? Because I didn't recognize him.
No, it's the guy that I walked off the Pride of Dreadhold. Right in front
I suppose
of all
that's
the
true.
pirates that were holding him.
Yeah. Sorry, I was talking maybe more localized. He's not from here, is he? Am I stupid?
No, he is.
Oh god, I'm stupid. Okay. Well, what if we added a second one?
But wait, there's more.
Here's the deal. If I end up becoming basically the person in charge of Colonast technology, which would be pretty sweet and would be a possibility in all this, you would have me as a connection.
What makes you think that I want to stay here and become an underworld boss?
Well, you don't necessarily have to stay here, but it does mean that you always have ties back here in case you need to come back for anything, or, well, you just needed somewhere to hide out. I don't exactly know what your plans are for a lot of your future endeavors, but you know that you'd always have a place welcome wherever I end up in here. I'll likely be here in the city.
I have a place welcome now. I have contacts now.
I suppose so, but does it have posh cushions?
What are you saying about my shop? Do you want me to get you posh cushions? I can get you posh cushions.
I'm trying to say that I don't think they'd ever expect for you to be hiding out in a place with posh cushions.
I'm being difficult for the sake of being difficult. Official.
I am very bad at interpreting things.
I know. I wanted a moment to collect myself, but that hasn't happened since I left home, so what's one more adventure?
That's the spirit. Trust me, like I said, I want nothing more than be able to stay here in this town as well. After all, I've got a lot of vested interest in the place, aside from the whole technical piece. I mean, my parents are here. A lot of people that I grew up with are here. So, I want nothing more than to protect the city.
My parents are dead. No one I grew up with is here.
So, I suppose you got us then.
I do.
I'm sure that's not much of a... Well, it's not a substitute by any means, but hopefully it makes it a little better.
It makes anything better, but... I have a path of my own, and... it is not in Sire, but if your path is in Sire, then... I will walk that path.
I think you and I are of the same mind here. I don't necessarily think that my path is in Sire, but we have some interesting crossroads that happen to extend and go past there.
We do.
And it seems like Boko definitely wants this too. And
He does.
at the end of the day, he's done quite a bit for us as well.
He has. And without Cade to say no, well, someone needs to be the adult. Hopefully we're back before she comes to the city looking for us and we're nowhere to be found.
That is a good point. I wonder how far in this whole ordeal is.
I mean,
Let me talk to
You don't have any.
I will see if I can
that'd be a
get
good idea.
someone to watch the shop for us. And to keep an eye out for a wet woman and a short rock.
If you want, I can send a follow-up letter to my parents to let them keep an eye on them eye out for them as well.
Do you think your parents keep an eye out in the circles they'd be walking into?
I'm not really sure, but I know that they're, good business folk, so they probably wouldn't turn down a chance to at least go peruse a slightly different market for a few days in case they were looking for people. Or at least keep their ears out for gossip. My mother was always quite good at that.
Fair enough.
And it seems like our friends would catch quite the attention, even out here.
Sindri manages to catch attention anywhere he goes.
I suppose so.
Okay. I'll talk to Splitjolt.
Sounds good to me.
Shop. I'd like it to still be here when we get back.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I've always dreamed of opening up my own shop, although this vector wasn't exactly what I was thinking of, but hey, it's a shop. And it's even better, because we've got many more people here than I thought I would. But I suppose I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening then. I won't keep you too long. I know you like having some time to yourself as well.
I've had plenty of that in my life.
No, well, I suppose I could stay for a couple more minutes. Keep you the company, even if it's in silence.
Oh, I am headed out to find Splitjolt, so
Then it works out even better. As I would just get up and just say, have a good night. Let me know in the morning what exactly they say.
You too. Have a good night.
All right. Before you go to find Splitjolt, is there anything anyone else is doing this evening?
He wants to put off having to do this voice.
I do, very much so.
Boko will go talk to Jasira. Are we back in the shop before we leave, or are we still in the...
I think we're in the
Yeah, you guys probably would have headed back to the
Yeah.
shop, I assume.
I think so.
Boko will walk up to wherever Jasira is with a large bag of glass bottles and beakers and alembics, and he will set it down next to her, and he will say, Roland had said that you wish to burn down this place in which you came. I can create for you some alchemical fire if you really wish to. You need only ask.
Alchemical fire?
Yes, and he will pull out a small vial of alchemical fire, uncork it, and just pour a little bit drop into his hand.
What is the purpose? Are you just showing what it can do? Or?
Yeah, it's essentially
Look at this,
spontaneously
it's hot.
combusting napalm.
Yeah, it is essentially, as soon as it pours and it hits the flesh, it just this small little like conflagration, and the center of Boko's palm is burnt into. And
So
it
much
is
for the potpourri that I had out. Now we have burnt flesh.
burnt flesh. Yeah.
Boko also is very unpleasant smelling.
Boko, go ahead
gosh.
and
Hence the potpourri.
I imagine that
take 1 point of fire damage.
I imagine Boko's like interface between his actual flesh and the prosthetics is like the smell when you like take out a gauge or like a piercing or something.
Ooh.
But like constantly and much larger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bad smell. Oh.
Why did you say that right before I had to swallow?
Chronic spit take.
Ugh.
But Boko will essentially would love to accompany you to the what is it? The plantation? What were you guys calling
The
it?
estate.
The estate.
I've definitely used plantation before because I'm like, yeah, there's plants there.
That kind of tracks.
But
There's
yeah, there's plants there.
Plants there.
Might be some illegal stuff, but you know, it's fine.
But if you want to go after Tove, we can go fuck shit up.
Yeah, we might need to do some recon first. Because after all, the scry was quite inconclusive. I think it is highly unlikely she went back to Mabar because the Gilded Man, I'm sure, would have something, like some promise to uphold, perhaps, to the man of the estate. I mean, at this point, she's probably his property in his eyes, and I'm sure he would return her rather than taking her back to an entirely different plane. But who knows if the prosthetic worked that we made, if she succumbed or anything else like that. Maybe she's just like, this shit's weird, and said, I don't want to let you see this, but we don't know.
Also, there is potentially a chance now that Tove has received a prosthetic that she is also infected.
That thought occurred to me as soon as we were talking to Elias.
Oh no! Oh no!
Boko, you had an STD and still went and put a body part in someone.
Boko asked permission first. Informed consent.
I don't think that makes it better.
That wasn't
I don't
informed.
think it does.
That wasn't
It was
Mine-
definitely not well informed.
Yeah, it was lack of informed consent.
Lying by omission. To be fair,
There you
Boko
go.
didn't know that it was infective until just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, you just thought you were helping. It's cool. It's cool.
Boko will say, "You were there when we were in the underground, and we learned a very specific rule when we encountered Gordo and his goons. You keep what you kill.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that applies in this situation to the Gilded Man?"
He doesn't really follow any rules, so.
Perfect. Is it as simple as killing him and taking Tove and the others and setting them free?
We could certainly try. I'm not entirely sure of that entire network that he must have. Clearly, he made us think he was helping us and then gave us to that one bitch whose name is blanking from me.
Was that the other elf?
That bitch.
That everybody curb stomped into oblivion?
Hashtag.
No, that's
bitch.
Anya. She that bitch. I'm
That
talking.
bitch Carol Baskin.
No, I'm trying to. I'm having a
No, it's that
mind
bitch
blank
Anya
of
Maskin.
the guy that owns the estate. I am blanking hard. I know it's
Oh,
in my
wait.
notes.
Galreth Ransion?
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah,
I was
Galreth.
gonna find it and sound cool, Austin. Why did you beat me to it?
It's my job.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure all the inner workings of whatever network. I'm sure Galreth may not be the exclusive receiver of my people, but we already know he has some drugs he's working on, and I'm sure benefiting greatly from those illegal drugs.
Oh, wait, so the guy in the really flashy, shiny golden armor on the ship was the guy...
He basically smuggled me out of my bar to make me a slave for Galreth, who has the drugs.
Gotcha. I thought Galreth was the one who was running that operation. I didn't realize he was just a customer.
We don't really know, yeah.
So if we
don't
go
know. There might be
kill,
some missing pieces.
if we go kill Galreth, could we sell his drugs out of our shop?
Yes.
No, see, now we can't burn it down. We just have to take over the estate.
Second business. I like this. Just with more ethically sourced labor.
Yeah. There's the business, and then there's the business.
Yeah, so...
we can use Sweetie's front to make a front for our front.
Precisely. Many tiers. So a stakeout might be in order. After all, I was there for many weeks, perhaps a month. Time was a weird soup, I think is what some people say.
It was a weird soup.
And
if I could lend a metaphorical grilled cheese to your weird soup.
Good.
How far north is? I assume north, but you said the opposite direction of the village.
It's actually like east, but
okay,
close enough.
Basically, it's more yay instead of yay.
Yeah.
Or I guess for you guys.
Far is the estate?
It's like half a day by a horse.
Yeah.
At most. It's not that far.
The tentacle monster
still
got me too,
like
so.
around Karlakton. It's just not within the city proper.
And then how far is the village outside of Karlakton?
You were not in a great state, but it took you like a day or two to walk it in that state.
Boko will say to Jasira, I am not opposed to buying some horses and taking a trip out to the estate.
Clyde owns 3 horses.
And a giant duck?
No, we haven't found Henrietta yet.
Okay.
She's out there somewhere.
Somewhere, waiting.
The great white buffalo. Boko will say, and if it is still okay with you, I wish you would accompany me to a village towards the Mournlands.
Absolutely. All your help has been greatly appreciated. Thus, I shall return the favor.
Thank you. So, do you wish to go? Perhaps in the morning?
The morning, then. Yes. I should be familiar with how the guards rotate throughout their positions, and hopefully that'll give us a leg up on staking out the estate and maybe finding Tove.
I will let the others know.
Ooh, we can rescue Tove, and Tove can be our shopkeeper.
Oh,
yes.
If she doesn't die first.
If she doesn't
run by peg leg
disease.
Yeah, the peg leg.
Just figured I'd let you know in case she doesn't die.
We'll start calling her Peggy.
I also wonder what effects the eels had given that prosthetic. This is going to be very interesting.
Like hentai.
Ew.
Maybe she's just like half octopus from the knee down.
She might be. Might be a little Davy Jones-esque.
Boku will try to go round up the others and let everybody know that as it seems, the current plan is
You ride on the morrow.
taking maybe like a day or a 2-day trip up to the estate, potentially burning it to the ground. So bring Gorilla Goods. And Boku will also set up his alembics and try to brew a couple bottles of alchemist fire.
Clyde is visibly relieved when you say we're going to go to the estate before going to Seer. He was in the middle of frantically, nervously packing and unpacking things for a potential trip.
Yeah. I also think Boko told you that Seer was his home.
Yeah.
Well, what was once Seer.
Fire.
Yeah, it's Sire.
Yeah, no, I
Mournlands.
remember Clyde's mom was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But also, fuck that place.
You kind of like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time Clyde went there, almost everyone he knew and loved died.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we're going to the estate first.
Yes.
And we want to remove this Galreth from power, yes?
Yeah. I guess.
A political game, then.
But how are we gonna get in after we do it? We're gonna try and do sneaky sneak?
That is what I'm best at. So, do we want to eliminate the area, or do we want to take over? I don't ask necessarily for us, but I ask because I have contacts and contacts who I owe favors to. One of those favors being this shop.
I think the number one goal is to see if Tove is there and if she is safe, and to ensure her freedom if possible.
My employer is very much on board with ethically sourced labor. So if we were to take over, things would improve. And there would be money.
When we go that way, do we need to inform your people first that something might be going down so that they can take advantage of it?
That is what I am suggesting. If we are just going to burn everything to the ground, then, oh, oops, fire. But if we want to make money, I should call some people.
Maybe we should keep burning it down as plan B?
Yes, I think the notion...
Plan
I think the notion that we could take the place over actually might be much more beneficial to our current operation.
Goods for the shop. Revenue for my employer. Financing for other adventures that we take.
I do like financing.
And
It
for
looks away a little bit.
artifice adventures.
I suppose that too, but I think that definitely helping out the people beneath them as well is a huge benefit of this one.
That isn't an option on the table. That is the table that we are at. Galreth is gone. Jasira, your friends are free. That is the table at which we are talking. How we do that is what is being discussed.
I think we just kick the front door down.
Well,
Unless just Zero wants to do a recon mission.
Well, I'll say we can do recon. I had a really
An actual recon mission, not a Monday recon mission.
Jasira's team recon because she's a very tactical folk.
Well, and also, how often do they receive new elves from her plane of existence? We could make it like we are trying to sell or return her. Get in with the dude by himself. Take him out without his guards right there.
We Oh, if Jasira is willing to be the bait, we can go fishing.
Oh my god, you're right.
Has Galrath seen any of us, though? Hasn't he seen all of us?
All of us outside the Dreadhold.
Well, 2 of us now have
Helping
access
him.
to disguise self.
2 of us? Many of us do.
Oh,
Many
a
of
bunch
us.
of us. Oh, yeah.
I am disguised self.
You're a different person every day.
I have a completely different suit and can equip a helmet with it.
That is fair. You were an arbiter before.
I am alter self incarnate.
Okay, so you were an arbiter. Clyde has disguised self. I am disguised self.
Boko's a modular Ken doll.
A modular Kindle.
Boko's covered. And Jasira's the bait.
I mean, that's some spicy bait.
Very spicy bait. Like, that spice has some fucking kick to it.
Do we have
Is that
enough
a mark
horses to
joke?
get there?
And a
Clyde has their 2 pack horses, 1 riding horse, and then he has his stick with a horse head that he can go giddy up, and he'll ride like a riding.
You also have
got
the cart.
Yeah, the car. So we could just bring everyone in the riding horse.
Yeah, we do it Skyrim style, and we have Jasira in the back with her hands quote unquote bound in easy like quick slip cuffs with a couple of guards.
It's chain manacles, but one of the links is purposely weakened.
Those damn stormtroops.
I am liking this more. Okay, since we are building this entire plan with the concept of Jasira being the bait, if there's one thing I know about fishing is that it doesn't always work out well for the bait. So Jasira, how do you feel about getting us inside without having to kick down the front door?
I don't mind that. However, we should recon and then.
Yes.
Recon.
Yes.
Okay.
Send the sneaky boy while invisible. Yeah.
That then allows us to. Well, and Jasira can be invisible for an hour. She could even guide Sneaky too, so they can be like, "Hey, here's what I know from being here."
Yeah.
We figure out any new trap situations.
We both go invisible. Yeah. You take me through all the routes, I disarm all the traps, unlock all the doors, all that stuff. We find all the information, we walk back out, and then we go.
And then we actually do the thing, Yes.
Yeah. It'll go easy, just like that.
Well, and if it doesn't, we have a chance to pivot, ideally.
And then the rest of us will be out there ready to burn the house down.
Yeah. Boko has already prepared the pivot.
Oh, okay. How long to convert the crossbow to a launcher to launch the
alchemist fire?
Alchemist fire from the cart.
Oh, fuck! Wait.
Oh my god, no!
You're just gonna have the fucking whatever M32 grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Next level. Next level. I get a feat that lets me make modifications like that.
Oh,
I'm this close.
Oh man.
Okay, so we level up inside the city, then we burn down the estate.
Boko is currently brewing up some alchemist fire, and he's going to pull out a large slab of unidentifiable flesh, place it on the table, and it is going to spring to life and assist him.
It's Gordo, isn't it?
Oh no!
Some amalgamation of something. It has pseudopods and it crawls around the table.
Across the Gordo, heart, mom.
Yeah. It's just mom.
I was thinking about naming it Pookie, but Gordo is fine too.
Gordo Pokey.
Oh god.
Or we can run it back in the joke and just call it Gore.
That's the key.
Oh, no such thing.
Or just dough. Because you need it.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Just
That
a friendly
is-
reminder that Jasira does have Gordo in a ring on her. Very moment.
Stuff his soul into the flesh beast he became. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
You have dough, I have gore.
Perfect.
I think granted that it is an unidentifiable pile of flesh, gore is a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what it is, though. You know, we know.
Okay, so Roland is going to go still to Sweeties to inform them of the plan or of the possibility, and then you guys are going to recon the estate?
Yes.
All right. So, Roland, you make the trip across town to the small swanky joint known as Casual Joe's, where most of Sweetie's enterprise is run from. And as you head in the door, I think that'll be a good place to kick off next session.
Congratulations, you delayed it a week.
Yep. You know, I got to do what I can. Push that off as long as possible.
Well, it's
I'm
fine.
so excited to hear
Something will
this
happen
voice.
while you're gone, and we'll never get to you.
Yeah, we'll just never get to it. It'll be fine. All right. But yeah, so thanks all for joining. We'll close it out with a quick little epilogue piece here, and then we'll see you again next week.
I searched for Zeratai, wandering through some of the ancient temples where he might be looking for information, and suddenly it overtook me. The intense darkness, the voice, I could hear his whispers. This body, all of you, are mine. I will shatter this corrupt cycle. You shall not stand against me. Suddenly Zeratai was there, trying to help me, but he looked like an enemy. As I tried to fight to prevent the darkness from consuming me, I could feel the unending hatred. It had corrupted the Sabra. My nerve cords now chained me to the dark will. They had to be removed. Zeratai knew it as I did, and I could hear his cry. Intaro Mahas! And we were clashing, blades sparking against each other. Our moves were well matched, but my companion had years on him now, and I knew I would defeat this enemy. My friend? No, my enemy now. It was only a matter of time. We rushed forward. As Zeratai struck, so did I. Zeratai fell to his knees and then to the ground. But clarity had returned. My nerves had been cut. Zeratai's voice gave out a final few words. The keystone will guide you to the Zelnaga. His body, far beyond its years, passed into dust in my hands, leaving only his gauntlet and my grief.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time, and we'll hopefully get into our recon mission. We'll see you then.
Recon.